This is brought to you by HBO, which is a subsidiary of Time Warner, also owned by America Online. You've got mail. I hope you don't have stocks. Mr. Gates, when did you realize you were creating a monopoly? Monopoly's just a game, Senator. I'm trying to control the fucking world. Don't you see Windows Millennium Me? It's all leading to information technology. Soon it'll be total information technology. Tit. And when you're sucking on the tit, I have you by the motherboard.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop, chop,
Playing this new game from Spectrum Holobyte called Tetris. The interesting thing about it, it's the first game software sold in the United States written by Russian programmers. But what's really interesting is here's a hot new piece of software. What machine does it come out for first? The good old Commodore 64.
With IBM, then he started his own company, Shugart Corporation, and then he started another company, Seagate. Alan, welcome to the Computer Chronicles.
Thank you.
Gary.
This is the bubble memory module itself. It's a 1 megabit chip. Now, some people would say that this type of device is going to be replaced eventually by a semiconductor memory device. What are your feelings about that, Al?
Well, I don't think it'll happen now. The floppy disk drive theoretically has an unlimited storage capacity because you can keep removing the diskette and putting a new diskette in. So it really has unlimited offline storage capacity, which the bubble memory doesn't have. So on a cost per bit basis, I don't think you're ever going to beat magnetic disk storage with semiconductor-like devices or bubble memories.
Al, you said the 5 1/4 inch disc was really the size that got the personal computer thing moving. That we see here a computer that uses a 3 1/2 inch, and here's a 3 1/2 inch micro floppy. Do you see this size as replacing the 5 1/4 inch format?
No, I don't. I think there's a marketplace for the smaller size. And I don't know if it will be the 3 1/2 or the 3 1/4 or the 3 or the 3 3/4. There seems to be lots of different formats vying for becoming the standard. And there may be more than one standard, but I don't see that they'll ever replace the 5 1/4 inch mini floppy because the world's programs are written on mini floppies, and you're never going to be able to, in your wildest imagination, transcribe all those programs onto smaller disks. It just isn't going to be done.
But while this CD-ROM requires only 1 megabyte of RAM, a major advantage of CD-ROMs is the amount of information they can store.
CD-ROM is definitely here to stay, and it would be pretty hard to get rid of it now. I mean, we all had to hold our breath for a minute, but this year proves that CD-ROM is not only here to stay, but it is the medium of the future.
ROM, but it was born for audio.
Sure.
And so we're giving Mr. Beethoven, in this instance, the best treatment we know how. I've often had a great deal of envy for my friends who would go to, say, a string quartet, and they would get misty-eyed, and my mind would just drift off. And so I thought they knew something that I didn't know. And in fact, they did. So what we did is we gave Beethoven his chance for the music, but we have a screen up here, and we can do something we kind of think of as whispering for your eyes. So as Beethoven's going along, this is explaining to me in my eyes.
The next step is virtual reality, which allows me to interact with that artificial environment behind me. And as you can see here, this is a virtual reality game called Continuum, and I can actually move inside that space and turn around and see it from all kinds of different angles. Now, if you think this stuff is just for fun and games, you are wrong. There are some important and serious applications using this new technology, as we'll find out today when we focus on virtual reality on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
Not quite Comdex yet, but it was the computer industry's first virtual reality exhibit. AI Expert magazine hosted the show, which included 6 VR vendors and products that were still clearly in the development stage.
We're looking at the Model T Fords of virtual reality. Resolution is low, the headgear is uncomfortable, but what's exciting about this showcase is the promise of the technology.
Crystal River Technology was one of the exhibitors. While everyone else seems to be focusing on the visual aspects of virtual reality, their approach is to work on virtual audio.
If you're trying to decide between a desktop PC and a workstation, a California company may have a solution for you. Opus Systems has introduced an add-in board that turns any IBM-compatible PC into a powerful workstation. The board uses a Spark microprocessor and lets you toggle up and back between simple Word doc tasks and more detailed engineering and design applications, which require the power of the Spark processor. Opus Systems says the new board should be available in April. Taking a look at this week's top 10 software titles for the Macintosh, Mac Connection reports that Macintac's Federal 1040 is in the #1 position, with After Dark coming in second. Third is Mac Utilities, followed by SAM and Disk Doubler. Rounding out the top 10 titles are Suitcase 2, Correct Grammar, TurboTax 1990, Adobe Type Manager, and Microsoft Word.
This week on the Computer Chronicles, the DVD revolution.
But this year proves that CD-ROM is not only here to stay, but it is the medium of the future.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. Well, we have gone from tape cassettes to big floppy disks to 3.5-inch disks to CD-ROMs, and now it's on to DVD as the portable storage medium of the future. What can you do with a DVD that you can't do with a CD-ROM? The answer is lots.
Tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you. Tell you I need you. Tell you I set you apart. Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions.